What is going on, guys? Matt Downs with Daily Grind Fantasy Sports to help give you the edge for this Friday NBA 10-game slate on DraftKings. Cannot wait to break it down. This video is officially sponsored by Jock Market. If you guys want to be entered into the $25 giveaway that we do on stream tonight, please like, subscribe, and also comment your favorite GPP play for this slate. If you guys are brand new to this channel, we provide both free and paid content for all daily fantasy sports across all sports. If you could please show your support by hitting that subscribe button, notification bell, and of course smashing that like button for all of our future NBA content. If you would like to know more about becoming a better DFS player and taking down that big GPP, head over to www.patreon.com/DGFantasy for more information. On Patreon, we give advanced cheat sheets for all DFS sports on DraftKings. These cheat sheets include updated projections, ownership, and our overall favorite plays from slate to slate. We take it a step further by teaching you how to play fantasy sports like a shark, by showing you where the best leverage spots are to put you in the best spots to take down tourneys. Also included is our private Discord chat where you get to talk over the slate with everyone, including our coaches, to help build your lineups. Now let's go ahead and dive right into this NBA 10-game slate. But first, you guys know we have to go over some Patreon success from last night. Last night, I actually almost took down a contest, a very small GPP. Some of the best contests there are on DraftKings to play. We go over strategy in our Patreon chat. But guys, 22 people. I came in second place. 5 times my money, $100 into $500. I was 5 points short. Damian Lillard started out the hottest I've seen him in a long time and then slowed the heck down. So didn't finish fire. I was 5 points off literally. If he would have just done anything left in the game, in a high-paced game, I would have come in first place. But we also had some other Patreon success stories. $621, I believe this was one of the coaches, and a $5,000 almost takedown, almost a $50,000 takedown there. Fourth place overall. And we had a ton of other success stories with League of Legends and also CSGO within the Patreon Discord chat. But now let's focus on this 10-game slate. And guys, right now, this slate is very, very straightforward. As you've known, if you've watched the previous videos, I've changed the format. I'm just going to be covering the cash plays and my favorite GPP plays as of right now, as opposed to covering the entire slate, because you know what? It's just a lot of fluff. We want to get straight to the point. We want to cover the cash plays. I want to point you in the right direction, and you guys go from there, okay? So this is the most straightforward slate we've had in a very long time, with a ton of value all over the place, but more specifically with the Golden State Warriors. But let's go ahead and break down this injury report first. So with Sacramento, we just have Bagley out against Boston. This is going to be a pace down spot for them anyway. With Boston, we have Tristan Thompson and Langford out. With San Antonio, we have Aldridge and DeRozan. Bates Diop also still out, but also a pace down spot for San Antonio. With Cleveland, we have Delly, Drummond, Love, and Prince added to the injury report. We have a little bit of interest there with Cleveland. Looking over, we have Detroit still with the same injuries: Diallo, Ellington, Hazman, Gruder, Okafor. Unfortunately, doesn't really impact the game because it's such a low over-under. Not really interested unless, of course, more people get added to the injury report. With Houston, we are pending John Wall and McLemore. That will impact things if John Wall is ruled out. With Indiana, we just have Warren, Sampson, and Lamb are also questionable for them. So yes, some interest there if they are ruled out. But Miami does have Bradley, Iggy questionable, just a little bit of impact there. And then Brooklyn, the same injuries. We have Blake Griffin still not making his debut yet. Kevin Durant officially out still. And then Kyrie Irving looks like he is probable to play against Orlando. With Orlando, we have Terrence Ross questionable if he's held up. I have a little bit of interest there because it is a pace-up spot for Orlando. With Utah, nothing really going on. Mike Conley did sit out last night, but is slated to start in this contest. Toronto has all their injuries back, so good news for them, but bad news for DFS. With Golden State, this is the team we are honing in on. Steph Curry, huge usage monster, the biggest and probably closest to one of the biggest here in the NBA. Kelly Oubre, also a very high usage guy, going to be ruled out in this contest. And then Pascal also out with Wiseman. So much potential value here in a pace-up spot versus Memphis. So a gold mine for value. We're going to be focusing on Golden State here in a little bit. With Memphis, we have Jackson still out. With Chicago, Dotson and Temple out. Denver, Harris, Morris, doesn't really impact them. With Minnesota, same story there. And then Phoenix, Craig and Cameron Johnson out. Last but not least, we have some more value here with Dallas and a pace-up spot. Cauley Stein, Finney Smith, but a bunch of minutes between the two, Johnson, and also Terry. So a lot of power forward minutes to be distributed within this starting lineup. So I'm going to be honing in on a lot of value here in Dallas. And then last but not least, with Portland, nothing really going on there. As we know, CJ McCollum is back, and they are playing on a back-to-back. All right, let's take all that information, go here to the main slate, and let's focus on Golden State. Who are we honing in on? pretty much everybody, honestly. We take a look at Nico Manian. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Manian. I don't know. For you Golden State fans, let me know in the comments if I pronounced that right. $3,200, 26.5 minutes. But Manian does average a decent fantasy point per minute output with these guys off the court. 0.94 fantasy points per minute and 136 minutes of sample size. So I like that sample size, and I like the amount of minutes that he's playing. If he does start, absolutely love him here in the smash spot. Probably one of my best values on the entire slate, near bottom of the barrel price tag. Doesn't make sense for you guys to fade Manian tonight at the point guard position. Looney, also a fantastic point per dollar value, 6.1 point per dollar value, $3,200, projected 22 minutes. He only needs about 15 to 20 minutes to hit value, and you add another 2 minutes, and I really do like him here in a smash spot here versus the soft Memphis Bigs. Kent Bazemore, another option projected right now, 23 minutes, $3,400. The only thing I don't like about Golden State is nobody's really projected over 30 minutes with the exception of Andrew Wiggins and Draymond Green. But these guys do have a lot of role players that can get hot very quickly, assuming that this is a higher over-under than expected. That being said, all of these role players are good shooters. You take a look at Bazemore, Manian, Wiggins, JTA even, Draymond Green, all of these guys, Damian Lee, Jordan Poole can all shoot the ball. So you're really taking a stab at somebody that hopefully has a good shooting performance in this game. And because of that, you're taking the cheapest on the list. $3,200 for Manian, $3,400 for Bazemore, Wanamaker, $3,000. Like, you can take a stab at any one of these guys. The only guys I really don't like, and again, I like borderline on the fence still about it, is Andrew Wiggins, just because he doesn't really get a fantasy point per minute boost, because he's honestly not that good of a player. I'm just being honest, guys. I'm not hating on Andrew Wiggins, but if you just look at the stats, 0.94 fantasy points per minute without Steph Curry on the floor. You're taking the highest usage guy. You expect him to step it up. Well, he doesn't really. Draymond Green, like, showing 0.55 fantasy points per minute with 61 minutes of sample size. Like, it doesn't really impress me. So I'm just taking stabs at the value guys here, and I think they're going to be very, very chalk. That being said, you're going to have to pay up, not for somebody like Wiggins, but some of these studs here on the slate, which we're going to talk about here in just a second. Let's talk about one of those studs here in Dallas. Like I said, a lot of power forward minutes to go around, but slight usage bump here to Luka Doncic. 10.7K on the surface just looks so cheap. Should be relatively competitive. Like I said, Portland is coming off a back-to-back, but they're playing at home. They are still, no, I think they're not favored, actually. Yeah, Dallas is favored by 3 points. So a 234 over-under is very, very, a very good pace in general. I have him right now with a 5.2 point per dollar value, projected at 56.17 points. Just, on the surface, Luka Doncic looks like he's in a smash spot. One of my favorite pay-up options on the slate, hence the reason I gave him the thumbnail picture. So Maxi Kleber, also not that bad of a value. Right now we have him pinned for 27.35 points, projected at 32 minutes. I think that's a bit on the conservative side. I could easily see Kleber playing about 35 minutes, just given all of these guys out. Finney Smith projected usually 32 minutes. James Johnson about 20-ish minutes, 18 to 20 minutes. Cauley Stein, same exact thing. So there's a lot of minutes to go around. Dwight Powell, also not that bad of a value play if he starts. If he starts, we're going to be expecting closer to about 20 minutes at 3K. So even more value to shove here. Yes, Tim Hardaway in a pace-up spot. Love him. Porzingis, you can say the same thing. 7.9K is relatively cheap. And Josh Richardson. So it's going to be Golden State, Dallas chalk night, assuming all the injuries stay the exact same right now. But I'm going to prefer Golden State, lean on Dallas. And then we're going to be moving on to one more value play here. It's going to be with Brooklyn. Brooklyn, not really any injury news that's going to pop out, but Claxton's been getting a good run. He's been showing out 18, 16, 23 minutes in his last 3 contests. Therefore, he's penned at about 20 minutes. If he does play 20 minutes, I love him at a 3.6K price tag. He's going to be a little bit lower owned. Does have a good matchup, but if you guys are looking for even more additional value, which I don't think you'll hesitate to find here, 6.6 point per dollar value. He's averaging 1.13 fantasy points per minute, and I just like him in this spot. So Claxton, my favorite value play. And before we get to GPP plays, let's hear a quick word from our sponsor.
Jock Market is one of the most innovative ways to play daily fantasy sports today. Just like the real stock market, Jock Market allows you to buy and sell players to earn profit based on their performances throughout the day and night. They are currently offering a variety of sports where you can enter their markets and buy them for potential gains. Unlike normal other DFS sites, once the slate starts, you can make numerous changes to your stocks by buying new players you think will continue to perform well or sell players you think are going to underperform.
Right now, they are running every sport with overlay, which gives you an easier chance to win than other major DFS platforms. Download Jock Market now on the App Store and use code DGF to receive a $20 deposit bonus. Be sure to subscribe here for all future Jock Market content. It's just so weird to see a 10-game slate be all the way narrowed down to 2 specific teams for cash. But that's the reality, guys. You have to focus on these teams. There's so much value to go around, at least in cash. For GPPs, let's talk about this. We're going to talk about the pay-up options because you're going to have to pay up somewhere. James Harden, obviously not that bad of a spot, but it's a pace-down spot versus Orlando. He's going to have a lot of the usage, obviously, and just the way the builds are fitting together. James Harden's going to be pretty high-owned. Damian Lillard is a nice contrarian play. If you think that Doncic is going to go off, well, you better think that Damian Lillard is going to have to step it up tonight. So I do like him. My other favorite option, somebody that's probably going to get overlooked just because there's so many center options on the slate, Jokic at 10.6K. Against Chicago, you always target bigs against Chicago. So I like Jokic as yet another good pay-up option. Just going down the list here, I'm going to start focusing on GPP plays just a little bit on the cheaper side. We're going to love targeting guys here versus Sacramento because we know that they play no defense whatsoever. No injuries for these guys, so nobody's going to be really looking at this team here in Boston. Jason Tatum did come down in price tag, so I love him at this 8.9K price tag. He's going to be one of my favorite GPP options and in that awkward range at 8.9K. People are going to totally overlook him, pay up for guys like Harden, like Doncic, Lillard, Jokic, and Jason Tatum's going to probably show below 10% ownership. So I do like taking stabs at him. And he's going to be my favorite GPP play on the slate. Again, this is, as of right now, injuries still have to shift throughout the league. Like, we still have some pending injury news here with Orlando, with Indiana. So we will be coming back to this picture here around the time of lock. But as you guys know, this video is sponsored by Jock Market. So let's go over my favorite potential Jock Market plays. We'll wrap back around to this point here on the pre-lock live stream. Right now, John Wall is expected... he's questionable right now, but we don't know if he's going to play. Right now, he's at the 73rd spot, so yes, that's a good value play, but again, that will change if he does start. But my favorite option here, Buddy Hield at 57. I think that's a little bit undervalued. If Boston and Sacramento do stay close, look for a good game from Buddy Hield, potentially moving up 25 spots in the 32 spot. So he's my favorite value play here on the slate. Michael Porter at 61 and also Will Barton at 71. They're not showing any love here for the Denver Nuggets. Absolutely love them to potentially move up a tremendous amount. Again, guys, Jock Market, you invest in players as stock. If you guys haven't signed up, use code DGF20. This is an easy, just plug and play here for the value plays here on the slate. Now let's talk about one of my favorite studs here on the slate. Valanciunas does pop starting at the 27th spot. I expect him to rise at least 10 potential spots. He has a very good matchup, pace of spot here. There should be no reason Valanciunas should not smash his value. So one of my favorite players getting overlooked. And then also Kyrie Irving here at the 11th spot. I have him potentially moving up to the 5th spot. If James Harden isn't doing it, Kyrie Irving's doing it. One of those two players always have a ceiling game. So you guys can take a stab at Kyrie Irving. Definitely love him here sitting in that 11th spot. And that will wrap up my video, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy this video. If you did, please do hit that subscription button, notification bell, and of course smashing that like button for all of our future NBA content. With all that being said, have a great rest of your day and let's cash.